Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's lecture, we are going to understand the important vocabulary used to describe IELTS Writing Task 1. Okay, this is the third lecture of Task 1 series. So, first of all, the most important thing when it comes to IELTS Writing Task number 1 is to use the synonyms. Okay, you are not supposed to use those words which has been already provided you in the form of question. Okay, you have to rephrase those words with a synonym. So let's begin. And the first thing which we will discuss is related to use synonyms in your answer sheet. So suppose if you are using the word increase in graph, so use alternative word if you are using the same word again and again. If you have a graph, suppose we have graph here, if it shows an increasing trend, after that it gradually decrease, you can say, then it stabilize or remain constant. So you have to use alternate words. Suppose the word increase and decrease are the most common word which are being used in writing when you have to describe a graph. So instead of using word increase, use alternate synonym just like rise. Okay, and go up as well, uplift, rocketed, climb, upsurge, and soar. These words can be used for increasing trend. Okay, and let's suppose you have a, a, a noun. Okay, you have to use the synonym of noun as well, just like instead of using cars, you have to use the word automobile, motor vehicles, and simple vehicles as well. Okay, basically why do we need these synonyms? Basically जो examiner है, he wants to check how much extensive range of vocabulary you have. So the more vocabulary words you will use in your IELTS task 1, the more points you can score. If you will use the same repetitive word in your writing, so you can score very less band in your IELTS exam. So first thing which you have to memorize is you always try to use synonym, and there should not be repetition of words. Okay, but if you have no alternate word, so it doesn't mean to fit a wrong word instead of already being used words, you can use that word again if you don't know the exact synonym. But if you have a good vocabulary, then you must always use synonym. The first thing is to use synonym. Second thing, like if you're using the word climb here, you have to use adverbs basically. Okay, adverbs describe the quality of a verb. Okay, so if the climb is gradual or slow, use mostly student, what do they write? They show it increases or it is increasing. Yeah, it is showing an increasing trend, but they don't write what is the trend. Okay, is what like what is the intensity of the change? Either it is a slow, gradual, rapid, sharp, dramatic, okay, or slight as well. So these are, so whenever you are going to describe the change or the trend of anything, you have to describe like what kind of change it is. So for that you need to have use adverbs as well. So that is the start. In this lecture you will be provided with the synonyms which you can use, which you can memorize as well, and we will provide you the notes which you can download as well. So the first thing is vocabulary for introduction parts of IELTS. Okay, so the first part, as I told you in the previous lecture, there are three parts of IELTS graph. The first introduction, second body, and third is known as the conclusion. So introduction paragraph, it almost carries 30 to 40 words, you can say. Okay, so you have to start the given. After that you have to just know the name of the graph type as well. Either it is a diagram, so you will say the given diagram, or the table, or the figure, illustration, graph, chart, flow chart, which we have discussed in the previous lecture as well. You have to use the verb as well, and after that you have to describe either the comparison, what is the graph about basically. So you have to write down a starting line, प्रेजेंटेशन टाइप मीन्स के ग्राफ कौन सा है, you have to use verb with it as well, and next you have to describe the differences, the changes, the numbers of. So it will look like your first line of graph will look like, suppose we say we start from here, the provided, okay, the provided uh, column graph, you can say, okay, the provided column graph expresses the proportion, okay, the proportion of, now proportion of what, the proportion of world's population in three different countries, okay. So you have to, these dotted line shows the gap which you have to fill as per the requirement of the graph. So students, you have to memorize at least 3-4 lines. So you have to change as per the required graph which will come. So you have to memorize these names of the graph, and further you have to use or memorize these verbs as well. So next part is vocabulary for general trend. So students, introduction plus general trend, they will come in the same paragraph, okay. First line will be the introduction, and the second line will be about the general trend or the main significant event which is happening in your graph, okay. So you will write down the first line of the introduction, your next line will be in general, in common, generally speaking. So you have to describe what is the main significant point in the graph, okay. Suppose we have discussed in the previous, the graph is showing the increasing population of three different countries. So if in one country the proportion is decreasing and in other countries it is increasing, so you can say a glance at the graph reveals that the proportion of country Y is decreasing as compared to other two countries. So your first part of graph will be completed. You always have to write down introduction and a general trend in your introduction paragraph. It will be based on 2 sentences only, okay. And the next, as I told you, will be the body paragraph. So in body paragraph um, you have to always describe the changes, you have to describe the trend, okay, in the whole body paragraph. So if it is increasing, you have to use these vocabulary words, okay. We will provide you the PDF which you can download from after completion of this lecture as well. So instead of using the word increase, you must use the word rise, increase, go up, uplift, rocket. And instead of using the word decrease again and again, you have to use fall, decrease, decline, okay. And instead of steadiness using again and again, you can say if something remains constant, unchanged, level out, remain constant, remain steady as well, okay. So these are the words which you must use in your body paragraph, okay. Here there are some graphical representation or picture representation of these changes as well. It is a sign of decreasing sign, gradual decrease, rapid decrease, rapid increase, rapid changes or fluctuation, you can say a gradual increase and increase as well, okay. Now again, the type of change, vocabulary word has been provided you here, dramatic, rapid, sharply, quickly, hurriedly as well. And that is the last part, the vocabulary about the conclusion. So you have to say in conclusion or in summary to conclude. Basically the conclusion is related to the first part of the introduction. So you have to restate whatever you have committed or what you have made in your introduction paragraph mein, you have to restate in the conclusion part. You can use these words. These will make your writing more professional if you will memorize these vocabulary words, okay. So here we will conclude today's lecture that was related to vocabulary for IELTS Task 1. So if you have any problem, if you have any question, you can write down in the comment section. So we will try to answer those questions. So good luck students. See you in the next lecture.